I don't know about you guys, but campaign games are really starting to stack up at my house, and it's causing me a little bit of anxiety. Uh, I won't show you my wall over here, but I have a whole bunch of stuff lined up against the wall over here, which is driving my wife crazy. She keeps saying how awful it looks, and it doesn't look really that great, but maybe I need to get some shelves or something to put all my games on. She's not okay with that either, but we'll see what we do. This is the Be a Hero Gaming channel where we talk about all things gaming and also how to be a hero in real life. One thing I think is really cool about campaign games is you take this level 1 basic character through this adventure where at the end they're powerful, they have weapons, armor, items, spells, gold, renown, all these great things they're able to earn throughout the campaign. And I was actually thinking today about a friend of mine who I used to go to the gym with, and I would go to the gym and try to get in better shape, and you kind of ebb and flow. Some weeks you're really motivated, other weeks you're not. And I remember telling him how sore I was one day, and he said something really interesting to me. He said, you don't have to get in fighting shape if you stay in fighting shape. And I thought that was really interesting because how many times in our lives do we find ourselves, not just physically, but in all ways, kind of doing really good for a while and then kind of dipping back down. Then we do really good for a while and then we dip back down. That's not what happens in these games. In these games, you just keep getting better and better and better and better throughout the game. And they probably wouldn't be as fun as if you got good and then you got weaker again. And you got good and then you got weaker again. So I was really thinking about that today, about how interesting that is, about if you just make certain things a part of your lifestyle and that's how you live your life, you never have to worry about getting in physical shape or intellectual shape or whatever it is, just because that's the way you live your life. So I love games. I think there's so many ways they're applicable to our real lives, and hopefully we're not just trying to become a hero in these games, we're trying to be a hero in real life and worried about our actual level in real life. But I kind of wanted to get your input on what game you would start. My 14-year-old son is kind of my most reliable gaming partner. And so I grabbed him the other day and said, hey, which one of these games do you want to start? Let's start one of these games and let's play it. And we'll put the rest on the shelf and we'll do them later. And he made a choice, and I'll let you know what that was in the end. But first of all, this game here, I know there's a little bit of controversy behind this game just because of some delivery stuff. I don't really follow this Kickstarter very much, but I got nailed by Facebook advertisements. I saw this game on Facebook advertising it to me, and was saying how there was limited quantities left and they were going to sell a few of them, and then it wasn't going to be available until major holidays or something like that. And I had seen a little bit about this game. I didn't really know very much about it. In fact, of all the games I'm going to show you today, this is the only one that I have not unboxed and have not played in any way, shape, or form. I know nothing about this game besides what I've seen on YouTube. But I've watched some unboxings of it. I watched a couple of tutorials, and it looks really, really cool. So I fell victim to the Facebook advertising and bought this game, and now need to file for bankruptcy because this game was insanely expensive. But the game looks really cool. Let me just show you the back here. Kind of your typical dungeon crawler, Italian Renaissance kind of scene here. Comes with a ton of miniatures, a few heroes here, and then a ton of enemy miniatures, as well as a bunch of these outdoor and kind of street map tiles, and some buildings. And I guess you can get up on top of these buildings or behind it. I don't know if you can see these little 3D trees right here. You can get behind these trees and up on these buildings and shoot arrows at people, and kind of a tactical type game. But something else that I found really cool about it was that when you go inside the buildings or different thematic things happen, you play these cards that have numbers on the cards, and I think you can make choices and decisions based off what you want to do in a given scenario. And so it looked really cool. A really cool combination between being out here running around battling enemies and also these kind of thematic events that you can make some choices on and have some kind of influence on the game. Also has this really interesting time tracker here where there's this little clock hand here, and then the little tokens for each one of your characters go on here. And every time you take an action, whether it's a movement or an attack, it takes so many time movements along this track. And so once everybody moves along and there's a space behind the needle moves to catch up to everybody. And then people move along again, the needle moves to catch up to everybody. And I think that determines your initiative, whoever's next on the time track. So if you do a whole bunch of actions and end up way out in front and other people are behind you, it's going to take a minute before it gets back to you before you start again. So kind of an interesting mechanic there. I'd never seen anything like that before. But this game looked really cool. And actually, this was the one I wanted to do, but that's not the one my son chose. So anyway, this game, Nova Aetas, I think you say it. Aetas, I'm not sure you say that, but looks like a really cool game. Pretty big. I mean, this is like Gloomhaven size. So this game is pretty big, and I imagine it's going to take quite a while to play through this. But this is the only game that I have not unboxed and really don't know anything about. So Nova Aetas, I don't know if you guys have played this or tried this. What your recommendations would be. That's game number 1. And game number 2 actually was in the closet. This game, Shadows of Brimstone, Gates of Valhalla, we bought back at Gen Con last year. And so for those of you that know, Gen Con is in August. And so this has been in our closet for roughly 8 months. And I think we opened it and went through it, but that was it. And so when I asked him about these games I have over here on the wall, is there any other options? I said, okay, well, we have Gates of Valhalla. We haven't taken that out yet. So that was another one of the game options to play. Shadows of Brimstone, this is the first game of that I bought. And since then, I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and my mind is just blown about this game. I feel like if you really got crazy into this game, you wouldn't be able to play anything else. The booth at Gen Con was like a gigantic store of just a million things that all went to this game. And so we kind of were a little bit overwhelmed when we saw this, and the original games were a little bit bigger, and I think came with a few more missions. And so we bought this just because it was a little bit small. I guess they call this the Adventure series, the Adventure series rather than a core box. The core box, I think, are the 3 City of Ancients, Swamps of Death, and Forbidden Fortress are the core boxes. And then Gates of Valhalla and Valley of the Serpent Kings are the adventure boxes, basically meaning there's everything in this box to play, but it's a little bit smaller and a little bit more manageable. So that was option number 2. I gave him the option between both Tainted Grails, and one person commented on my video because I'd asked about, do you have to do this first or can you go right to Kings of Ruin? And he said, yeah, go dive right into Kings of Ruin if you want to. A little bit different game mechanic, and in his opinion, his or her, I'm not sure who it was, said that the Kings of Ruin they thought was better. But I gave him the option between this or Kings of Ruin. That's another option. This we have played the introductory mission on, and we had a lot of fun playing it. And just kind of introduce you to a couple of the basic rules for combat and diplomacy. And it looks like a pretty deep story. And again, another lengthy game here was another option. Here's another game I picked up by Facebook advertisement. I knew nothing about this game and saw it advertised on Facebook. And we've played this game a few times, and it's actually a really cool game just because of the way this top comes. It's like magnetized, and this comes off, and then this is your board for the game. And you set your map book here for your map, and some cards go over here for some status effects that can happen to you. And there's tokens you draw for your initiative that get played over here. But the thing that I thought was so cool about this game is how it's put together. So here are your missions, and this is a box of loot cards, and here are your characters. And so there was a few things to punch out and set up. I think in each character box there's a couple things to punch out. But the cool thing is everything you need to play the mission is in this envelope. And so you pull this envelope out, and that's got everything you need to play mission number 1. And there's a stack of cards in each one of these that rather than going into a book and reading entries in a book, you have this stack of cards, and it will tell you if you want to do this or you pass this test, go to card 32A or whatever. So you flip back to that card and you read the text. And so it's really cool how it's packaged. Everything you need to play is in the envelope, and everything you need for your characters in the envelope. And then this box here is just purely for, there'll be times when they say draw one of these copper, gold, or silver loot decks, which gives you some either items or abilities. These are towns, where you take these out of the package, and as you go through the town, you just go through the cards. And I love the way they have this organized. The void box is anything you use, you put in here, and I think you never get it back, I think is what this is for. But love the way this game's packaged, and The games play really quick and set up really fast. Oh yeah, I think there were some things in here you had to punch out and put together. These enemy dials and stuff. And the map book is in there. But really cool game. I don't know if anybody's played this before, but I knew nothing about it till thank you, Facebook, for making me buy this game. Aetas Vanguard's been a game that I've done a couple of videos about, and we've played the introductory mission, and I think the next one. I think we played 2 of these. A little bit different genre. You're in space, and it's not really my cup of tea, but I don't know if I mentioned in the video of unboxing this, I bought this game purely because I thought my wife would want to play it. Didn't really come to pass. She still hasn't come down and wanted to jump in some of these longer campaigns. She says, if it lasts longer than 20 minutes, I don't want to play. And I guess you could play it for 20 minutes and then come back the next day and play it again for 20 minutes. I don't know. But this was another option that I offered him, was this game we played a couple of missions in. So far, we seem to enjoy it. I'm not sure about the dice mechanic, how I feel about it, but I'd like to play it a little bit more to see what I feel about that. But that was another option. And actually, there is one more that I did not give him the option on, but recently I had this game, Dungeon Universalis, show up, and this is kind of an obscure game that I don't even remember how I found out about this, but I think it's 1.3 edition, because this is the 3rd Kickstarter they've done with this game. I'm not sure, but basically it says here, a fantasy game with thousands of options. The only limit is your imagination. And really what you do is, there's not a lot of information on the back, but it comes with some enemy tokens and I think a few character standees, a billion map tiles, and cards. This box is really heavy. I feel like, it's about the size. It's not very big. It's about the size of like Wingspan, but it feels really heavy. And so I feel like it's probably mostly cards and maybe map tiles or something. But essentially what you do in this game is you create a character, you take him across this map and go on all these adventures and dungeons, your typical dungeon crawl, level up the character and grow the character. And I guess I don't know if in past editions it's been the same, but I guess there's like a bajillion different character classes and options you can do for your character. There's so many things that this game kind of freaks me out a little bit, just because there's so many different options that you can do. This was not available at the time, so he was not able to choose this, but this just showed up, so I thought I'd throw it on here. Maybe we'll do an unboxing of this game if anybody wants to take a look at it. But I don't know if you can guess, a 14-year-old kid, which game he chose. He ended up choosing this one, Gates of Valhalla, and which I think this seemed a little bit lighter was the reason why he chose this. And the other games seem pretty heavy. And he always has his eye on this, keeps saying, when are we going to play Shadows of Brimstone? When are we going to play that game? And so, again, I've been in the closet. I thought, we've had this game for 8 months, and we've kind of dabbled in those other ones, so let's give this one a try. And I did just want to show you real quick, the hardest thing about this game, and that I've seen as you buy more expansions for it, is how do you put all the stuff back in the box? So I did make a quick organizer for this. It's a really weird organizer, but I had to do it like this to get everything to fit in. This one map tile couldn't fit in the bottom, so I just put it up here on top. I did buy the map tile upgrade for this game. So the basic core game of Shadows and Brimstone has a map deck of, I think it's 12 map tiles and 6 passageways. Well, this basic game came with 3 passageways and I think 9 map tiles or something, or maybe it was 6 or 7. It wasn't very many. It was smaller than the regular core game. So if you buy the map tile upgrade, it brings it up to par with the regular core boxes with the map tiles. So we did buy the map tile upgrade for this game, and we bought 1 additional enemy pack, which was these guys here, the Custodians of Targa. That come with these Targa pylons, just because they kind of fit the Targa genre that's on the back of the other world for this game. So I have all this map tiles wouldn't fit in the bottom, the character cards and all the books and town cards on top of here. And then I made a couple of trays that fit next to here with some of the side bag tokens, these pelts you get, which is additional currency for Gates of Valhalla. And then this little box here that holds all of my scavenge tokens, grit and corruption. I think there's something else in here too, Darkstone in there. And then your rage, sanity, and wound tokens. And then little compartments to fit all the models. And we've just primed these white. And I think what we're going to end up doing is just speed painting these. And that's why we painted them white, just so we can get them in the box and get them painted. Get them painted and get them on the table to play. And then a little box over here to hold all the cards. And then underneath this guy here is all the map tiles. And again, this one was a little bit big. And so once I made this, I thought, oh, it can't quite fit on there. So that ended up on the top. We have all the map tiles there, all the miniatures there, which, you know, is great as long as you don't buy any more expansions. Or if you do, they're going to have to go fit in their own box. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. So if you have a different opinion, if you would have rather played a different game, I kind of went along with what he wanted because I want it to be his decision so that when we play it, I say, hey, this is the game that you wanted to play, so let's get into this and let's go, you know, finish the campaign so we can move on to whatever's next. Of those 5 games, or maybe even Dungeon Universalis, if you want to throw that in there too, but of those 5 basic games, which one would you play and why? Put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and it will give us some ideas for what we want to play next. I hope you guys are being heroes out there. Just remember, when you're playing your character through one of these campaigns, you want it to be an upward trajectory. You don't want to go up and down and up and down. That wouldn't make for a very fun game. You want to be really powerful at the end of your game so that no enemy can stop you or no challenge can stop you. And that's how we should be in life too. We shouldn't have to try to get and fight in shape when the time comes. If you stay there, it doesn't matter what challenge you're presented with, but you're already there and you're already ready. Be a hero, guys, and take care. Thanks for watching.